What is the Jets 2026 vision? Because we have the first overall pick right now as it's currently situated. You look at Tankathon, the Jets have the first overall pick. We have no wins. No wins yet. 0-6. The Titans have a win. The Saints even have a win, but the Jets do not. What is the vision for the 2026 Jets? And it's sad that we even have to make a video and talk about this topic right now. You know, in the middle of October, I don't want to be doing this, but the Jets are forcing me, man. They're forcing me to do it. This is the content that we have to start creating. We have to start talking about Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, Lenor Sellers, Arch Manning, all the quarterbacks, because the Jets stink. You guys know me. If you've been watching my channel since I started or the last few years, you know it's the last thing in the world I want to do is talk about the draft and the offseason in October. But the Jets are giving me no choice. They're giving me no choice. So we got to talk about it, man. I think there's a lot of different approaches the Jets can go in the 2026 offseason. That's by either drafting a quarterback or trading that pick back and maybe going after a quarterback in free agency, maybe trading for a veteran quarterback, or maybe the Jets feel like Justin Fields proved himself maybe at the back end of the season, which we haven't seen yet. But I have a lot of things I want to break down right now. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Where do you expect the Jets to go in 2026? Are you watching these games in college football? We had Oregon and Indiana face off against each other this past weekend. Are you like tuned in to the NFL draft right now? Because I got to start doing it. As much as I want to avoid it, I can't. I got to face the reality. I got to face the truth. This is where we're at. This is where we're at, folks. And we got to embrace the darkness. Embrace it. So there's a real possibility here that the New York Jets are going to be picking with the first overall pick. But there's also a possibility, by the way, the Jets get a win. And maybe they get a few more wins. And all of a sudden, the Jets finish with 4 wins or 3 wins, and we don't get the first overall pick. But even if the Jets do not get the first overall pick, I think we can all agree that a quarterback is a very likely situation here. Justin Fields has never been a guy that I really genuinely believe deep down he was going to be our long-term future. When we signed him, of course, as a Jets fan, I became hopeful. Maybe if the Jets do this, this, and that, they can figure it out a way to make him work. Maybe Fields can be the guy. That was all maybes, but I never really had a definitive feeling that Justin Fields would figure himself out. And I was told, that, hey, if Justin Fields does not work out, the 2026 quarterback class is pretty good. So you can find someone in the draft, so don't really worry about it if Fields does not look great. Well, Fields does not look good so far this season. He has not looked like a quarterback that I want to be our quarterback for the foreseeable future, if I'm being honest with you guys. So starting off with a guy like Fernando Mendoza, that's been a popular name. I think that the early mock drafts have him going to the Jets. They also have Dante Moore going to the New York Jets. But Fernando Mendoza is an interesting quarterback because he gives me interesting vibes. Like, he is a guy that I think fits the exact type of system the Jets are trying to build with Tanner Engstrand, because he gives me Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, like, can rip it from the pocket. And he's a big guy, 6'5", a big body. And I think that Fernando Mendoza in this offense as a rookie, you never know. I like his confidence. I like his approach to the game. I like his vision. I've been studying film and learning a little bit more about him as a human, learning a little bit more about him off the field, how he approaches the game, his story. And I got to be honest, I'm impressed with Fernando Mendoza right now. Now, there's a long rest of the college football season to go. There's a long draft process that needs to go, the Senior Bowl, the draft combine, before I'm going to start really saying that he is the guy. But early on, man, I'm not going to lie, I like what I'm seeing. He can let that thing rip from the pocket, and I think that's something that this Jets team needs, because the problem with this offense right now is Justin Fields is holding it back a little bit because he's not able to process the field and not able to plant his back foot into the ground and let it rip outside the numbers with accuracy and timing, anticipation, putting the ball where it needs to be. And like, Fernando Mendoza has traits that I think will translate. I absolutely do. So early on, you never know. Fernando Mendoza could be the Jets quarterback. But the big question a lot of people have is, well, Do we want this Jets regime to be the ones to develop a young quarterback? Do we want Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and Tanner Engstrand to be responsible for a young quarterback? A lot of people are questioning that. Now, going back to Fernando Mendoza, he's right now has 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a QBR of 84.6. I think these are very solid numbers for the young kid. 6'5", 225 pounds. All right. He is a junior, so there's no guarantee he declares for the draft, but he is definitely one of those quarterbacks that is absolutely balling out right now. And he kind of has that NFL build to him. He definitely does have an NFL build where I can see translate to the next level. Now with the Jets, I don't know. The Jets are obviously a graveyard. We have been a organization that has not been able to prove we can develop quarterbacks properly. But the Jets are invested in Aaron Glenn. The Jets are invested in Darren Muji. So I think that they are going to give, this regime their opportunity to handpick their quarterback. And let's be honest with ourselves. Justin Fields was never like the guy. He was a placeholder. And maybe it's like one of those situations with Fields. It's like, all right, we'll bring in Fields as the bridge. If he balls out, becomes the guy, great. But if he doesn't, we kind of have an alternative-ish situation going on with him. Now, another quarterback is Dante Moore from Oregon. Now, he's definitely one of those guys that needs to show me a little bit more at the back end of this season before I'm really going to buy into him. But at 6'3", 206 pounds, he's got like Jaden Daniels kind of vibes, if you will, early on in my evaluation. But he's someone that kind of like definitely needs to show up in those big games, because that game against Indiana, I know that, there's film out there. He was balling out in games leading up to this one, but he had some pivotal mistakes in that game. And, how is he going to learn from it? How is he going to build off of it? And I think that Dante Moore is a quarterback that is being also mocked to the Jets early on in the process. I would be interested to see if how he progresses throughout his entire situation with the Oregon Ducks. I do feel like there's other quarterbacks as well that we have to bring up, which is Lenor Sellers. Lenor Sellers feels like a poor man's Justin Fields. Now, that's not a knock on him at all. I don't want to, disrespect Lenor Sellers. I like him, but I don't know if I love him. I don't know if I look at him as like a top pick, and I'm not just looking at the stats here. Obviously, watching the film and understanding him as a quarterback is how you got to really approach the analysis and the breakdown of these young quarterbacks. But, he seems like another version of Justin Fields, just from the standpoint of his strengths is an athlete, can make people miss in the open field with his legs. He's mobile. He's a freaking absolute unit at 6'3", 240 pounds. But the passing and the processing and the arm talent is in question. I don't know if I want the Jets to invest in a quarterback like Justin Fields. I know that they're building an offense around Fields right now, but I don't think that would be smart to do. So I do feel like Lenor Sellers is not a guy, at least early on, that I would definitely consider drafting with the first overall pick if the Jets end up getting it. Now, there's another approach that I think some Jets fans need to keep an open mind when it comes to the offseason plan of 2026, what the vision could be. And this may surprise some people, but hey, you never know. Crazy things happen across the NFL every single offseason. Like quarterbacks, I think, are about to be on the move. And I'm talking about veterans. I think there's a world where the Jets go after a veteran quarterback and trade down from that first overall pick and get a haul. I think that's another alternative plan. Now, I don't know who that quarterback is going to be. I have no idea, but I think that there's going to be a quarterback that the Jets could potentially be aggressive for. Now, you could argue, are the Jets really in a situation to do it? Maybe they would have to package that first-round pick for that said quarterback. Do they have the assets? Do they have the talent to even trade for a quarterback? We did this dance already with Aaron Rodgers. Do we want to go all in for a veteran? I don't know. I think that you got to keep all eyes open, because just because the Jets get a top pick does not mean they even love a quarterback in the draft. Maybe they go the Giants approach and they draft the best player available like they did with Abdul Carter, and they like a quarterback later on in the draft they trade up for in the back end of the first round like they did with Jackson Dart. Or maybe Dak Prescott becomes available because Dallas is in a situation where his cap number is too high and they're not winning and they're just Dak wants out. You never know. I would love Dak Prescott. I think it's very unrealistic. I'm not shy to admit that. But I think that a guy like Dak Prescott would be pretty fun coming over to the New York Jets. He's a solid quarterback, man. Another quarterback out there, not that I'd even want the Jets to go after him, but a guy that I can see moving on from his team is Kyler Murray. I don't want Kyler. I'll make that. I mean, right now at this stage, like Kyler Murray coming to the Jets sounds like a little bit of a not a good pairing. He's just not. And this is another thing. Speaking of Kyler Murray, I'm happy I brought him up because people that are in tank mode, I hope you guys realize getting the first overall pick guarantees you absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right? Because you look at the last first overall picks, the last like 15, 13 years, like they've not been great. Like the history of the first overall picks has not been great. And I think people are forgetting that. I think people are looking at the first overall picks as the guarantee. And I know we want to ticket to the best potential player in the draft, but let's start off with Cam Ward. Hey, bro, the Titans are another mess. Cam Ward does not look great, but so far we'll see. Caleb Williams, hey, man, he's starting to play well. We'll see what Caleb Williams does. I am a fan of Caleb Williams. Bryce Young, hey, he's playing decent football. We're playing him this week. All right, these are the last 3 first overall picks at quarterback. Travon Walker went in 2022. Trevor Lawrence, remember that year? We tanked for Trevor. We were not able to get Trevor Lawrence. If the Jets did get Trevor Lawrence that year, would he still be our quarterback? He's winning now, but is he a generational talent? I don't know. Joe Burrow, as great as he is, he can't stay healthy. He's on Andrew Luck territory, which is really sad to say. Kyler Murray, another first overall pick in 2019 that we just talked about. Baker Mayfield, it took him to leave the Browns to become an MVP quarterback today. Jared Goff, Myles Garrett, Jameis Winston, Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, all I'm saying is the first overall pick does not guarantee you anything. That's why I'm not all in like, lose, we need that first. I'm not like desperate. I'm not on my knees hoping the Jets lose so we get the first overall pick. It doesn't guarantee you anything. It really doesn't, bro. Josh Allen went 7th overall. Lamar Jackson went 32nd overall. Patrick Mahomes went 10th overall. So that's my approach to it. That's why I'm always not really a fan of the tank, and I never have been. And guess what? And I never, ever will be. All right? So it's a big risk here that the Jets are going to have to be making, and I know that we're talking draft and 2026 vision on this video right now, but you got to. The Jets are 0-6. And if they continue this trend of everything's losing, that's the only thing we can talk about is just that. Sad stuff, but it's the truth. Comment down below your thoughts about this topic. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And don't forget to smash the like button if you're not already. Let's freaking go Jets, man. Want to give a big shout out to Sleeper, the proud sponsor of Jets Media all season long. If you guys want to use my code JETS, you guys will get a 100% match up to $100 on your Sleeper app. Using the code JETS will do just that. You guys get $20 for free when you use my code JETS. That is $20 immediately when you log into the app and you make an account with my code. And then when you want to put some money in, they will match it up to $100. So basically, you put $20 in, they'll give you $20 for free. And on top of that, you get another additional $20 for free. So that's free money you get to play. Please bet responsibly. You guys can pick a lot of awesome parlays, over-unders, win up to 100x your money. So a big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring Jets Media all season long.